applause for Dr. Watson and his son, Bernard Jr., along with the director, Mark Perry, for making this film accessible for generations to come. Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He is truly a hero. He is truly a hero. I know that Dr. Watson, you are a humble man and you do not want to be fawned over. I, however, am of the mindset that we should not only cherish the lives of those who are dedicated to making the whole of society better than it is, but we should give folks their flowers while we can. So at this time, here to give and pay tribute, honor, and bestow more acclamations to and for our very own Dr. Bernard C. Watson are the legislative body of some of those who help govern us here in this county and the great state of Indiana, from the governor, congressman, senator, and state representatives. Please, let's give them all a Gary welcome. And what I'm going to do is ask those that are about to present these proclamations to please come up, and I'm not going to come out in between it. So it'll be starting with a proclamation from the governor of Indiana, Eric J. Holcomb. Dr. Vernon Smith, are you in the house? Let's give Dr. Smith a round of applause as he comes forward.
Allow me to begin by giving reverence to God. I am a believer, I'm a praiser, and I'm a worshiper. And he said, if I acknowledge him before men, he will acknowledge me before his Father. And I certainly want that to happen, so I give reverence to God. I want to apologize for going a long way. I could have made those steps, but I thought she wanted us to line up over here. I was trying to be obedient, but the others were not called. I have been touched twice this afternoon. I was touched first by the patriotic ceremony that we had on stage. I think that it's so important for our nation because we're so divided. And we need to teach patriotism. I came through a generation where we were taught patriotism. I would never think about going and doing anything against my nation. And so I was impressed by that. And I just want to commend Karen and all the committee for providing something that should have made your body have chills over it, because that's what I felt. I first heard of Dr. Watson by Eloise Gentry. She was your drum major. She always talked about you. I had never met you. I've been in your company a couple of times, but I don't think you even know my name. But I knew your name, and I've watched you for years. But this, who is Watson, has given me more depth of understanding of the blessing that you have been to this world, and to this nation, and to the world. And so I am humbled and honored that the committee asked me to seek an award from the governor's office and to also seek something from the House of Representatives. And so I'm pleased to be here, and I'm even more humbled and more honored after watching that film. It was certainly a tribute, And I just want to tell you that you are so blessed. You're so blessed to be able to see what you contribute to the world in film. You are really blessed. On behalf of the governor of the great state of Indiana, it's my pleasure to make a presentation to you. And normally when I'm making presentations, I don't read what I'm giving to people. But because this is coming from the governor's office, these are his words. And so I would like to share them with those who are present. The Circle of Cordon, Eric J. Holcomb, Governor of the state of Indiana. To all to whom these presents may come, greetings. Whereas the early leaders of our state gathered in Cordon in 1816 to adopt the first Indiana Constitution and to create the state of Indiana. Whereas Cordon was Indiana's first capital and center of leadership in the early and formative years of our state. Whereas, like the founders of our great state, many others have made remarkable contributions to the betterment of Indiana and its people, and therefore are deserving of consideration for membership in the Indiana General Assembly Circle of Cordon. And whereas Representative Vernon Smith has made known the illustrious benefactions of one Dr. Bernard C. Watson, who has demonstrated in life and in service to the people of the state of Indiana the qualities exemplified by our state's greatest citizens. Henceforth, being deemed worthy of such recognition, the individual named above is hereby declared a distinguished member of the Circle of Cordon. In testimony thereof, and it goes on, and signed by Eric Holcomb and signed by Dr. Vernon G. Smith. And then since I'm up here, and so I won't have to come back again, when I was asked to make a presentation or get a presentation from the governor, I thought it was an opportunity because you don't know that I was one of your silent admirers, and you can thank Eloise Gentry for indoctrinating me. I wanted to make a presentation from the House of Representatives. State of Indiana, Indiana General Assembly, be it hereby known and proclaimed that Dr. Bernard C. Watson is named the honorary state representative on this date of October 15th in the year of our Lord 2023. And it is presented by none other but Unwa. Thank you for this opportunity.
Well, this is a different stage. Hello, my name is Karen Toring. I am the founder and director of the Gary International Black Film Festival. And it is my sincere pleasure to present a proclamation from Congress member Frank Mervan. You know, they're kind of busy over in Congress right now, so Representative Mervan couldn't be here. All right. Dr. Watson. Yeah. All right, this is from Congressman Mervan. To Dr. Bernard C. Watson. Dear Dr. Watson, it is my great pleasure to have this opportunity to congratulate you upon being recognized for your exemplary dedication and lifetime achievements. The achievements gained throughout your lifetime are integral to the success of others. That's the best kind, when your success makes other people successful. As your service to our nation and to the public through your extraordinary contributions to the fields of education and philanthropy, along with your fierce advocacy for equality serve as an example to be emulated. Your continued efforts to support students, particularly those affected by challenging circumstances as they strive to experience similar success, is admirable and worthy of the tribute today, recognizing your positive influence within the city of Gary. Thank you for your tireless work to uplift and inspire others. Sincerely, Frank J. Mervan, Member of Congress.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening. I am so honored to be able to stand before you and read the proclamation by the Honorable Senator Eddie Melton. And it reads as such: be it hereby known and proclaimed, whereas in the realm of education, the name Bernard C. Watson stands as a beacon of unwavering dedication and unparalleled achievement. And whereas Dr. Watson embarked on a lifelong journey of academic excellence, earning his bachelor's degree in history and political science from Indiana University in 1951. Subsequently, serving his nation in the United States Air Force with distinction and honor. And whereas his unyielding commitment to education led him to acquire a master's degree in guidance and educational administration from the University of Illinois, marking the beginning of his illustrious career in the field. And whereas Dr. Watson's tenure with the Gary school system as a teacher, counselor, and director of guidance, and his rapid ascension to the role of principal within 5 years, showcase his exceptional leadership and dedication to nurturing young minds. And whereas his further enriched his academic arsenal by pursuing a PhD at the University of Chicago and engaging in postdoctoral studies at the esteemed Harvard University. And whereas Dr. Watson's contributions extend beyond the classroom with 3 published books, countless scholarly articles, and a legacy of consultation for 3 United States presidents and esteemed institutions such as the United States Office of Education, the National Institute of Education, the United States Civil Rights Commission, and the Education and Labor Committee of the House of Representatives. And whereas his tireless efforts have garnered him a multitude of honors, including an astonishing 21 honorary degrees, further cementing his status as an educational luminary. And therefore, be it proclaimed that we, the undersigned, honor and celebrate the remarkable life and contributions of Dr. Bernard C. Watson, a true visionary in the realm of education, whose passion, leadership, and unwavering commitment to the betterment of society serve as an enduring inspiration to us all. And direct that a copy of this proclamation, sponsored by the Honorable Eddie Melton, Senator Melton, be presented to Dr. Bernard C. Watson.
Good evening. My name is Sydney Chapman, and I am one of the committee members of the festival. I am reading today for Reagan Hatcher, our Indiana State Representative in District 3. Whereas in the field of education, Bernard C. Watson has few equals. And whereas in 1951, Bernard C. Watson earned a bachelor's degree in history and political science from IU Northwest. He then received a master's degree in guidance and educational administration from the University of Illinois. And whereas in 1955, Bernard C. Watson joined the Gary School System as a teacher, counselor, and director of guidance. Within 5 years, he became a principal. And whereas Bernard C. Watson earned a PhD in education from the University of Chicago and did postdoctoral work at Harvard University. And whereas in 1967, Bernard C. Watson took a position with the Philadelphia school system. 3 years later, he joined the Temple University faculty. He has been a professor, chair, and vice president for academic administration. And whereas since 1994, Bernard C. Watson has been a presidential scholar at Temple University. He raised more than $200 million during the nearly 12 years he was president and CEO of the William Penn Foundation. And whereas Bernard C. Watson chaired the board of the Philadelphia Healthcare Management Alternatives Foundation for 3 years. He has authored 3 books and countless articles. He has also offered consulting services for the U.S. Office of Education, the National Institute of Education, the U.S. Civil Rights Commission, and the Education and Labor Committee of the U.S. House of Representatives. And whereas Bernard C. Watson served in the U.S. Air Force from 1951 to 1954 and achieved the rank of first lieutenant. Therefore, be it resolved that Bernard C. Watson is recognized for his service to education at the local, state, and federal level. He is a true public servant who has dedicated his life to educating our youth and young adults. Reagan Hatcher, State Representative. Okay, I'll just do the next one and then I'll come down. Be it hereby known and proclaimed, whereas Dr. Bernard C. Watson was born in Gary, Indiana, and attended Theodore Roosevelt High School. And whereas Dr. Bernard earned his bachelor's degree in history and political science in 1951. And whereas Dr. Bernard entered the U.S. Air Force in 1954, and in 1951, and in 1954 was discharged as first lieutenant. And whereas Dr. Bernard joined the Gary School System as a teacher, counselor, director of guidance, and within 5 years became a principal. And whereas Dr. Bernard has held several positions with the Graduate Department of Education of the University of Chicago. And whereas Dr. Bernard completed his PhD and went on to do postdoctoral work at Harvard University. And whereas Dr. Bernard in 1957 took a position with the Philadelphia school system, and 3 years later served as a professor and a chair of Temple University. And Bernard became vice president for academic administration. And whereas Dr. Bernard is the author of 3 books and countless articles, and Bernard has provided consulting services for the U.S. Office of Education, the National Institute of Education, the U.S. Civil Rights Commission, and the Education and Labor Committee of the House of Representatives. And whereas Dr. Bernard has earned 21 honorary degrees and has retired from academia, but continues to be an active member of many corporate and nonprofit organizations. Now, therefore, be it resolved that Dr. Bernard C. Watson is recognized for his lifetime achievements. Earl Harris Jr., State Representative.
We do have one more proclamation, and Dr. Smith, I was not certain if you wanted to present yours from the state representative standpoint. You did them both? You know, I'm back here busy, Dr. Smith, I apologize. Oh, that's those Q dogs out there, right? Bless you. Thank you. Heroes, honoring heroes here in the city of Gary, Indiana, this Sunday afternoon. This past summer, the Gary International Black Film Festival held its inaugural animation, Real Rundown Animation Fellowship for Women and Girls. It was a 6-session, 2 hours, intensive Did I say intensive? Intensive. The age range of these women and girls were 14 to 70 something. Their first bout in animation. The object was to come out of there with an animated film short. And they did a fabulous job. On Saturday, their shorts packages were shown at the Gary International Black Film Festival. This is our final day. We've been 4 days strong, streaming and in person, upwards of 70 films, 5 countries. Thank you. Thank you. It's been an arduous but a labor of love, I tell you. So at this time, they did receive their honors on yesterday, but we're going to take a short look at a reel of some of their work. The collaborative project, and it was done via Zoom, by the way. See that?